I shouldn't have to prove to you how I purchased these items. It has nothing to do with the fact that it was nefarious. It doesn't have to do with the fact that it was illegal. It doesn't have to do with the fact that it was abusing the system. I got a job. You want to go see? You want me to show you my W-2s? You want me to show you my tax returns for the last 28 years at my job? I just feel like there are individuals who always find a reason to complain and bitch and moan over something, especially if it's with individuals that don't look like them. And I feel like it goes back to that saying. And Miss Jenny, I know you're religious, and apologies for the language, but it sounds like what's the one thing a white man with a dime hates the most is a nigga with a quarter. That's what I got out of it. It's like if we have anything that's nice, we have to prove to everyone that it was legally obtained. That's what I got out of it. It sounded like he just wanted to make some noise just for the sake of making noise, to make it seem like he was saying something, and all he had was diarrhea in the mouth and constipation of the brain. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. All right. And go ahead and Lost in Translation.
You know what? I like to take a look back at what we're really looking at, because sometimes I think people fall victim to the algorithm.
Yeah. You want to pull it back up and go through it?
No, I got something better than that.
Okay, good.
Oh shit!
You know, when I pull out my sword, I like to cut. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing: as he stands on his acreage, you know what I mean. I can't help but think that you're standing on top of your privilege. You know, looking down upon other people, and like Antoine said, worrying about how they got what they got. You know what I mean? And it's mighty funny that people forget that true capitalism is letting the winners win on their own, and letting the losers lose on their own. I can distinctly remember back in 2008 when we had all these mortgage-backed securities failing, and we had the banks failing, and then we had the car companies failing. I do distinctly remember people coming to Capitol Hill asking the people who worked for a loan to bail them out. You know what I'm saying? And then here's my whole thing. Here's the rub about that. When you have companies that don't produce the top of the line products that are A, affordable, B, that are durable, you see what I'm saying? And C, you know, you're the top of the line as far as competition is concerned. And when I think about stuff like that, I think it's mighty high of them to sit up there and tell people they need to get up off of their bootstraps. But at the same time, you're making a bunch of trash. You know, I'll give you an example. This whole situation with TikTok, they're gonna sit up here and muscle them up out of their algorithm because they made something that was a little bit better than anything that we can make. And then they're gonna turn around and use it under the guise of, well, this is Chinese involvement. They're spying on us. Well, guess what? Our own government spies on us. You know what I'm saying? Even when we had refugees leave this country, it's like, man, y'all ain't gonna believe this. They've been watching us the whole time, you know? But at the same time, they'll sit up here and they'll let people innovate on the other side of the world and tell us that they're bad while we subsidize the trash that we make over here. They don't think about the people who actually get in those trucks every day and drive those beats, you know what I'm saying, to the stores. They don't think about the people that get up and design those boxes, you know, at these other places to go on those beats. They don't understand that the person who fills up the tanks, who moves the forklifts, who pulls all that stuff, generally most of those people who do the labor look like me. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, when we do pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, for some strange reason, they'll figure out a way how to tear our stuff up. So that's going to lead me into the video that I found. And I want to share with y'all. Anytime we want to pull ourselves up by our bootstrap, there's always somebody there hating, and then they want to turn around and mess us up. So I
wonder why so many black neighborhoods got wiped off the map in the 1950s
Yes,
and
sir.
60s. Follow Black South if you're done accepting whitewashed history as true.
Everybody mute.
This wasn't random. It was policy. When President Eisenhower ever wonder why why so many black neighborhoods got wiped off the map in the 1950s and 60s. Follow Black South if you're done accepting whitewashed history as truth. This wasn't random, it was policy. When President Eisenhower launched the interstate highway system in 1956, cities across the South suddenly had the funds and the green light to redevelop. But what they really did was destroy. In Nashville, Tennessee, I-40 was deliberately routed straight through a thriving black community. Over 1,400 homes and 80 businesses were bulldozed, even though alternate routes through less populated areas were proposed. In Montgomery, Alabama, the freeway sliced directly through the Centennial Hill neighborhood, home to black doctors, teachers, and lawyers. The same happened in Durham, in Charlotte, in Baton Rouge, over and over again. These weren't accidents. These routes were chosen to gut the heart of black economic and cultural power, to eliminate political influence, to destroy generational wealth. They called it urban renewal, but for black communities, it was the same old strategy: displacement by design, and the effects still visible, still felt, still unrepaired. So tell me, how many of these roads do you drive every day, not realizing they were paved over somebody's home, church, or business? Comment below if your city did the same, and follow Black South so these stories don't stay buried.
I'm not
So,
surprised because something like that actually did happen here in New Jersey a long time back. There's a
right,
road. There's a road that connects the East Coast to the West Coast, Interstate 80.
right.
And what happened is, and a friend of mine I went to high school with found the video in the public library and posted it on his YouTube page. And what they did was they wanted to connect Interstate 80 to a certain part of New York City. Because if you take Interstate 80, if I remember, it will take you towards the George Washington Bridge into New York. What they did was they literally bulldozed through certain parts of neighborhoods in northern New Jersey, around where I grew up, in certain areas. Like, there are neighborhoods where you have this highway coming through, and our parents from Jersey, so he knows what I'm talking about. And this road connects not only to the Garden State Parkway, it also connects to the New Jersey Turnpike, and it connects to a couple other roads in Jersey City that takes you to the city. That road is Interstate 280. And the reason why it was intentionally called 280 is because it connects 80 to certain parts going into New York City, to the Holland Tunnel. And that's why it was intentionally called Interstate 280, because now you can take Interstate 80, get on that road, and it'll take you all the way to the Holland Tunnel. And this was something that happened right around that same time as well. So it wasn't just in the South. It happened in the Northeast. It happened up here as well. Like, you go to certain towns around my way, and literally you will see a freeway right down the middle. Right down the middle. And people were shocked. Like, and a lot of you'd be surprised how many people never knew that happened. So I've heard some stories about a lot of these things that happened in the South, but it's happened up here as well. It's happened up here a lot. Most people don't even realize.
And the killer
So I
part
can
about it, they're still
definitely
doing
say
it. They're
Yeah.
still doing it. You know what I mean? So here's my whole thing. When gentlemen like that like to get on their high horse, they, for some reason, they have select memory, and they don't understand that this type of stuff happens all the time. But you know what? Whoever writes the history books get to tell their story. So I'm so glad that we have the internet so we can actually add some context to the whole entire story, instead of what you decide you want to put in a history book. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for us to write down exactly what happened, so people don't go around cherry picking and try to make people feel like they're bad. Because if you ask me, I think black people are pretty much industrious if we left alone. Don't you think, Jeff? Mr. Businessman. You're on mute, Jeff. Still on mute, Jeff.
All right, how's that?
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
There you go.
Without question, gents, when Brother Man said not just the South, you have to understand that this interstate highway system, from the giddy up, from the planning table, the same way that you see gentrification in every city at the same time. Brothers and sisters, that's a lot of concrete. That's a lot of glass. That's a lot of bulldozers. That's a lot of bricks. To happen at one time, this is systematic planning. And what I'm happy to say is that there are people who tell me I have my tinfoil hat on, that tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist, which you really, by the way, that's not an insult anymore. Conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000. But people who tell me that I'm an extremist or I'm a victim for having these opinions, number one, what do we call survivors of the Holocaust? We call them victims. What do we call survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? We call them victims. So victim isn't a bad word. And lastly, the number one ingredient in ridicule is give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how anybody outside of the people who are willing to work with me and the people inside of my tribe feel about how I feel. I don't need your permission to think the way I think or move the way I move. Fine. I'm all of that shit. We finna do this. That's where I'm at.
Let me go ahead and get Miss Jenny, and then we're gonna hit our pain back. And we're gonna double back to Coach Ferg and Beans and then Antoine. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts on the video?
I think it's interesting that now I missed the first video, I believe it was, that you guys showed, I guess about some guy talking about something. And so I don't know. I feel
I can run
like
it back to context if you want me to.
is it super prevalent or is it just like with a whole different
it
topic?
pretty much is. Yeah. I think you need to see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me run it back one more time for the cardio.
Sick and tired of hearing about privilege. Privilege isn't being white, bonehead. Privilege is living in government housing and calling people oppressors while they pay your bills. Get it? I'm done pretending that any of this bull makes sense. You want to talk about privilege? You want to talk about real privilege? Real privilege is wearing $200 sneakers when you haven't worked a day in your life. Privilege is walking around with $300 Beats headphones while you're living on food stamps, while you're on public assistance, and it's paid for by people who wake up and grind every day. Privilege is having the latest smartphone with unlimited data and having zero idea where the bill goes because somebody else is always picking up the tab. Privilege is being able to protest every little thing that offends you without worrying about calling in sick to work because you don't have a job. Privilege is being able to cheat, lie, fail over and over again in life and still get bailed out while people who play by the rules get punished. That's privilege. This isn't about race. This isn't about class. This is about accountability. We've got a culture that rewards victimhood and demonizes work ethic and responsibility. Meanwhile, the people holding everything together for the rest of society, they get taxed into the ground. Their businesses get choked by regulation, and they get personally vilified for speaking up and saying that this is bullshit. You want to talk about privilege? Then start with the people who've never paid the price, but who also scream the loudest. Because they've never had to build anything. They've never had to defend anything. They've never had to carry any real weight. And the reason they get away with it, it's because we don't live in a society of strong men anymore. No, that's been dismantled on purpose over the last 50 years. Because a society of strong men would never put up with any of this bull. And that's exactly why they came after us first.
And he is so...
Okay, fuck.
We got to hear what Antoine said. Go ahead, Miss Jenny.
Okay. So so seeing that in light of the second video, I think it's really interesting, because I can understand where he's coming from. Like how Black Man was saying, like this analogy of, if you give someone some money and then 30 years later, then if you ask for some money back, then, isn't it fair? The Black people of today aren't the Black people that were slaves. And so it seems like a lot of people, and I think someone was saying right as I was coming in, is that, um, you know, something about how um, it I can't remember now exactly, but the Black people that are here today that are on this government assistance, they're not the same ones that were the people that made the $1 trillion or so that was from slavery. And so I can understand people's frustration when they feel like the Black people of today are entitled, because even if reparations were something that were even relevant or appropriate, would they be deservingly going to people that are 6, 7 generations down the line? That's up for debate. Um, so I think that at the end of the day, we can't change what happened. But if you have an attitude of, well, this is what I deserve, and the world or my country has just constantly, downtrodden me, and I can't get ahead, then I just think that that's a very negative mindset, and then that is just going to do you a big disservice, and that you're never really going to get ahead. So I think that what's important is to understand that, whatever fully happened, 100 years ago or 60 years ago doesn't have to affect you now. We choose how we move in today's world day by day. And a lot of Black people choose to not be affected by that. And I think that's what's best.
But it's not about choosing it. Like that's the point, right? I heard Hamp say something on his show recently that most people stay in the same economical demographic that they were born and raised in, right? So you don't typically see people who were raised in the projects become millionaires. You don't typically see people who were raised in middle income become super upper class middle income, right? They usually be right there in the middle in the middle class, right? Like it's not about you choosing it. It's people who are affected by things that have been done historically, right? To this day, they exist. It's just that simple. Having a job don't mean you're not affected. Having a wife or a husband doesn't mean you're not affected. Giving birth to a child doesn't mean you're not affected. Having a degree doesn't mean you're not affected. It's all about how you're affected by whatever it is that you were affected by. You got some people who I asked the question once before lit. I'll ask this panel because it seemingly I think everybody's pretty much on the same footing. When did oppression end? What year? Please be specific. We all agree that it existed, correct? This is not rhetorical. We all agree that there was a point when systemic oppression existed, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What year did it end?
It never did.
Okay,
It
so
ended in
if you
2008.
think okay, so there we go. That's what I want somebody who actually think it ended, right? So you said it ended in 2008. Why?
Because we elected a Black president.
Okay. So you believe that the Black president had anything to do with systemic oppression of poor people?
Yes, because I believe that it's a mindset that keeps us poor. Like in the
Mhm.
example that you gave, people are born poor and they usually don't rise above that. Well, that is their choice, because how you move as an adult is entirely based on your decision making.
Yes, but the thing that it makes it sound like what you're saying is true, but the reason why it's not true, right, is because we don't get to determine what incomes are in America, right? So most people put it to you like this: the median income is the median income, not because people don't want to work, because that's what businesses pay. That's how business works. You get into business and you don't say, you know what? I think I put it to you like this. All these women who come on these panels and say men need to make six figures, I guarantee you if they started a business today, they wouldn't pay their male employees six figures.
No,
They would
wouldn't.
understand very quickly that that's not how business works, right? You're trying to make the most money while giving out the least. So my point is that if the median income was 100K, then 100K would just be worth what 50K is worth today. It wouldn't change anything. And it's not because people don't want to work. People go to work. People have jobs. People go to school. 60% of people who get degrees don't even have jobs in the field that they get degrees in. Right? So it's not that people don't do these things. They do, but the world isn't set up for everybody to be rich, for everybody to be wealthy, for everybody to even be six figures. It's a reason why it's only 15% of the people who meet that mark. And it ain't because people don't go to work. You can't say that because the president was black, that somehow now stops the systemic oppression or them needing to maintain a level of mediocrity amongst the majority of people, I would argue, right? Because if everybody has money, then money won't be valuable. They can't even allow that to be the case. Why do you think we just had the pandemic?
Well, I feel like you're kind of arguing two separate things, because you're talking about one, people being held back by systemic oppression, and then you're talking about people making six figures when you're not oppressed if you make $50,000 a year. Like, you can be comfortable and be just fine, be totally average and live at the median and not have, you know, systemic powers holding you back, you know?
Except for that's now how the world treats you. That's not how women treat men. Sorry, sis. You know we all love you. I promise you that is not our experiences out here. It's not.
Let me move on to our pain.
Wait,
Our
but
pain. Let me ask you a question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Beans.
I'm saying, dude, but can we land on this? Systemic oppression didn't end in 2008, right? Just because we had a black president, nothing changed. Marijuana, it's still people in jail for that right now. Right? Why it's a whole bunch of white people out here making millions of dollars off of marijuana. And it's still people in jail for marijuana to this day. Right?
Rockefeller drug laws.
That's still going on. Meanwhile, the Sackler family, all they had to do was write a check, and they got off of all the millions of people who died behind them lying about their drugs. Right? Like, that's still going on to this day. We talk about the way that the welfare was used against black people to stifle them. Well, this man is making an argument that that's still prevalent to this day. So if welfare was a tool of systemic oppression and it's still going on today, how could systemic oppression not exist?
Because you choose to be on welfare. No one makes you be on welfare. You can choose to get the skills and the education to earn a six-figure job. You can choose to not do that and be on the government assistance, or you can choose whatever path you want. And the reason why I say that systemic oppression ended in 2008 is because if you saw a person that said that they were black as the president of the United States, then that should have shattered all mental barriers for you to say, I can do whatever I choose to do in America. That's the whole point.
But you just said, but sis, you just said that it should have. And you have a white man who just made a video in 2025 arguing that it didn't. That
for some people
have these demographic of people out here right now, right? And here's the other thing about it. Let me ask you this question. This is kind of personal, but if you can't answer it, have you ever filed your children on your taxes?
No, because I don't work, so I don't pay taxes.
Okay, so rest in peace, but your husband probably did though, right?
Our son's only 8 months, so
that was the first child you had?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's my question then. Would you have filed?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's welfare. Why would you need
don't you have to file your children?
But here's the thing. You're saying that you would have. So if you didn't need it, why would you file?
Don't you have to do that? Don't you have to file all your
dependents? You do not have to file your children on your taxes. Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you're teaching me something.
Right? So, this is what I'm saying. But people do. People do it all the time, but they look at everybody else and say, "Oh man, you get food stamps." And people who file their kids on their taxes get more welfare than people who get housing assistance. That's a fact. Use your Googles, and it's not even close.
Okay. If I could, I'd like to push back just a little bit on that. Welfare, as it is given to people of the state, is not given to people who are or by design. It's not given to people who are seen to have gainful means of employment. Taxes and welfare are two entirely different animals. We've had this conversation before.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that people who get money back on their taxes, first off, the money that you get back on your taxes is not anything other than your money to begin with.
What? That's
irrelevant. When you give welfare, that's other people's money.
No, that's irrelevant.
That's that's where we disagree. It's absolutely relevant. It is the entire point of my argument, is that this is the way Bill Cosby put it. Somebody is flying an airplane. Bill Cosby it was on the pilot of the Cosby Show when he sits down with Theo and Monopoly money. He says the government comes for the regular people first. This is what taxes is. When you're working with your 9-digit social security number, taxes go like this. Before I give you all of your money, I'm going to take out what I want to and use it as an interest-free loan. And then at the end of the year, you have to convince me how much of your money you get back. Mm-hmm. When you work through an EIN, when you separate yourself from your social security number, you are given all of your money, and the government asks, tell me why you don't owe me 30%. That's different. And in that math, welfare isn't involved at all. Welfare is when people who are the chief problem is the lumping of the two together, because welfare, which by the way most black people are not in, and most people in welfare are not black. Those are two facts. Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you this question, and
sure.
I'm begging that you just answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they owe you back money for taking care of your own kids that you brought into the world?
Because they took my money in the first place. Because
that's not an answer on why they owe it back to you.
Why do they owe it back to me? Because
why do they owe you money? Everybody pays taxes. So why should you get back some money? Why should you not have to pay taxes just because you had a child?
Because there are certain things that when you get my money, you're taxing me twice. That's what I'm saying. When I get my check,
everybody goes through that.
I'm trying to yes, and everybody shouldn't. I'm going to try to explain. Can I have a little more space to answer your question, yes or no?
That's irrelevant.
Okay, then no.
That's what I'm trying to say. That it's irrelevant what you're saying they're doing. I'm saying for you, me, everybody else, we all pay taxes. I don't have a kid. I don't get this money back. You had sex and made a baby. Somehow you deserve some money back?
Yes.
That's what it's for.
Yes. No. You won't. This is very easy to explain with the rest of the answer that you don't want.
I don't understand why we have to be disingenuous.
No, I'm not being disingenuous. I'm trying to answer your question. Now, you either want the answer or you don't, and I'm fine either way.
But what I'm saying is what you're saying right now isn't true.
Okay,
they're literally giving you the money back for your child. That's why it's called a child tax.
Okay, you're right. I'm wrong. Next up,
Beans, if I may, to answer your question,
bro, what's wrong
without being facetious. Without being facetious,
it's hard not to be, because you're dead. You are so elementary in your understanding of tax law, and I'm not even an accountant.
Trying to explain the law. I'm not asking you about the law. I'm asking you a simple question.
Sure.
Why do you deserve to get your money back for your child?
And I'm trying to explain it, and you won't, but you don't want that part.
Go ahead, bro. I'm muted. I'm done. Y'all got it.
Okay, great. Here's why. Because when you take taxes out of my money before I even ever give, who gives a shit? It's not for him. It's for people who may be confused that need this in the future. This is where you guys get all wound up because a nigga don't like what you got to say. I'm not talking to that nigga. I'm talking to people in right now and in the future who want a very basic, very rudimentary explanation of tax law. When I get my check from my company, they have taken tax out. When I go to pay for things for my children, those things are taxed again. That's not supposed to happen. So they are supposed to give me that money back to me. Now, is the tax code screwed up? Absolutely. Do rich people go through loopholes to not pay it? Of course. But again, Beans, you have a point. You the wrong nigga to make it.
No, I'm absolutely the right nigga to make it.
Okay.
You're just being disingenuous.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I'm good with that. I thought we were done. I'm good with that. You're right. I'm wrong.
I don't want to accept what is absolutely true.
I certainly
You're making
don't.
an argument right now that's applicable to every single motherfucking person who has a job and spends money, whether they have kids or not.
No, I'm not.
That law that you did, that what you just said existed, happens to everybody if they have a job and they buy things.
Of course it does.
Okay, so
But
that's
the tax
irrelevant.
law says the tax law. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not because of the tax law, and the tax law says that you can't be taxed twice for your children. That's it. Now you can get mad, you can blow up and bust. I didn't make the law, and I'm not wrong.
It's irrelevant because
Okay.
it's your welfare.
Okay.
That's the point.
I tell you what,
you could say it.
I got an
however you
idea.
want to, right?
I got an idea.
No, I got an idea. Right?
Debate with you.
You can
I'm
say
done.
it however you want to say it. At the end of the day, right? It's still welfare. That same thing that you just stated happens to every single person, regardless of whether or not they have a kid or not, right? So you get taxed when you get your check, they take money out of it. You get taxed when you go buy shit. That's every single motherfucker in the country. That's everybody, right? The difference is that when you have a kid, which is why a lot of people who don't have kids don't even file taxes because they know they ain't getting shit back, right? But when you have a kid, they are allotting and saying, we will give you this fucking fair, right? This welfare, that's exactly what the child tax credit is. That's exactly what the earned income tax credit is. It's welfare. Period, point blank.
I'm trying really hard to agree with you. I'm trying really hard to agree with you. I thought I said you were right a couple of minutes ago. I'm not sure who you're arguing with now.
Can I ask a question?
Come on, Coach Ferg.
Hey, Beans, are you saying that there's a lot of people out there, and I'm not saying a lot, you saying there's people out there making over $35,000 a year not filing taxes?
I wasn't even touch that.
Probably.
Hey, listen, if you're making over $35,000 a year, file your taxes.
Please.
If you don't have children.
But wait. Let me see. This is why I say it's disingenuous. Do you know how many people don't actually make that much?
It's quite a bit, at least.
But yes. So my statement was still relevant, wasn't it?
But
what a lot of fucking people who don't file taxes.
But what I'm saying is,
shit back.
But what I'm saying is, if you're not under the poverty level, file your taxes.
Okay, we got it, bro. I don't know how this became a tax law.
No, I'm just saying.
Right?
No. You said it's a lot. I was just going back.
Right?
That's why I asked you guys.
I got you. What we were talking about, what was said in the video. The man was making a specific point, and the sister was agreeing with some of what he was saying. But what I'm saying is this: the same people who talk shit about people who get welfare get welfare. Make it make fucking sense. I don't give a shit what excuse you think you have to get it. You get it. I don't give you can say it's in the tax law. All of the shit is in law. That's why anybody get any of the shit that they get. It's because they qualify for it. It's that simple. But the same people who get welfare talk shit about people who get welfare.
No.
And when you follow your kids, guess what? You end up in a bracket of motherfuckers that get more welfare than the niggas who you talking shit about, except for food stamps, because they get the most, which makes sense. Of course they get the most, right?
Well, no, because welfare is other people's money. What you get back for your child is your own money.
I think I see what Vaughn's trying to say. I think Vaughn's trying to say, if you're on welfare, who are you to criticize people who are also on welfare do with their money? I think that's what Vaughn's trying to say. Like, where are you? Who are you coming out and telling people what they can and can't do? I think that's what he's trying to say.
You talking about
She's making the argument, the same argument that Jeff made, that other people have made. Oh, but it's your own money. Yeah, but it's your money that was gone. It was your money that went to taxes like everybody else motherfucking money went to taxes. But somehow you getting your shit back. You know why you getting your shit back? Welfare.
No, it's because you deserve it. Because
Are
people who
really-
have children are a blessing to their government.
Are you guys really? You guys are really gonna get out on this oval dirt track with beings right now.
That is crazy.
Okay.
Are we equating kids as welfare? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, he's not.
No, he's saying that any money that comes back to you from the United States government is welfare.
They say it's welfare, so they lying.
Okay, well, whatever point he's making, that's the one he's making. Can we let him? You guys.
Hey, Lick, let's make sure everybody hears this. They said it's welfare, but they lying.
Yes. For whatever, please, everybody say yes at the same time so we can move on. For this,
do you see what I mean about the disingenuousness? It's that much more difficult than just to say, oh, well, yeah, that is true.
I did say it was true for the
So
sweet
then what
love
the
of
fuck are
donkey
you
dick. I
talking
said
about?
it was true 10 minutes ago.
Absolutely, but my conversation in the beginning wasn't with you. You chose to chime in. You
Does
said you
anybody
wanted to
else
push
have
back.
it? Does anybody else? Who's arguing with beings right now?
Me
I mean, who
and the
really,
sister
really?
was
Who's
having
arguing?
a conversation, and you said I want to push back on that. That's
Exactly.
what happened.
And then I conceded. And
Cool,
then I
then
conceded.
why are you still talking?
Because we're all talking together, and it would
On the
seem
panel. That's a fact.
yes, and it
That's
would seem with your energy that somebody is in disagreement with you, and I'm trying to ask those individuals for the sweet love of Jesus why.
That's you being disingenuous.
Yes,
You
me.
keep trying to make it personal to me.
No, I'm trying to find out.
When you the one who said you want to push back.
I'm
You're
trying
the
to
one who
figure out
disagreed.
how to move this conversation forward.
You're
That's
the one
all.
who disagreed.
Yes.
Can somebody tell him that so it won't seem like
I can get my
No,
turn.
I said I disagreed.
If we're gonna do this disingenuous shit, I don't
I
have to be there.
said I disagreed. And then I said you changed my mind. And now that you have, are there any other minds that need changing for the sweet love of?
Or you can just let me and the sister have a conversation.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Oh, that conversation's over though. That conversation's over, right?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, I was just going to say one last thing is that the
okay.
people.
Checkmate.
So there's 2 points to what he's saying. So he's saying so welfare is someone gets someone else's money, and that's different from the tax break because you're getting your own money back. And the reason why you deserve to get your own money back from the government, because that they took from you in the first place, is because people who have children are a bigger benefit to the government. Because if I have 5 children, then I now have 5 people that are going to be brought up and then later go into the workforce versus a couple that does not have 5 children or has no children. You two are just going to live and work your 50, 40 years and then die, while I am going to work my 40 years and then bring new people in to replace me. So they're like, well, thank you for bringing in new to the workforce in a few years. So here's some money back because of, and increasing the birth rate or whatever. So you deserve that money, your money on back. That's not what welfare is.
So here's the thing, sis. We just got through. So nobody here believes that black people are owed reparations because we just got through talking about that. I could make that argument to say these people deserve it. What sense does it make for the government to be able to tax you for the entirety of your life, but you not be able to tax it? Right? It doesn't see this, and this is my problem, Antoine, is that it doesn't matter how much evidence you show people, they want to hold on to their biases and their bullshit narratives. So they're not going to change their mind, right? So even if you say you have a reason in your mind why you think it's justifiable for you to get the welfare, it's still welfare. So once you acknowledge that it's welfare, why would you be talking shit to anybody else who gets welfare? You're still getting it. And not to mention the fact I can literally prove it to you. Not a single dollar out of your check goes towards welfare. Not one. We owe too much money. Every single penny that goes out of your check goes towards the interest on the money that we have borrowed. So you can't count a single penny out of your check to welfare. Not one. You don't know that. But you want to think it and you want to believe it so you can have something to talk shit about these other people when you get the same shit they get. Welfare. That shit's wild to me, bro. Get the fuck over yourselves, man. That shit is dumb. We should be getting welfare. Every single motherfucking person in this country. Every working person in this country, every black person in this country, every native person in this country, everybody should be getting something. Food stamps. If they came to any one of y'all right now and said you qualify for a discount or your rent, your light, or anything else, you would fucking accept it. So then why turn around and talk shit to people who qualify? It makes no sense. None, bro. It just doesn't.
What if you just like mocking poor people?
That's the point. That's what I just said. That
no, I mean like for sport.
That people want to hold on to their biases and their bullshit narratives.
Yeah.
AKA
like you get together on a Saturday, you get together in the park.
Yes.
You make up names about you make up stories about how their lives are going bad. What's wrong with that?
That shit is insane. And
I think the point is made.
What happened in the conversation. But it's more about that dude and that fucking. That's why I said I wanted to break that video down. Because it's dumb. The shit that he's talking about is so stupid. $200 shoes, $300 headphones, and you don't go to work. Who got that shit? The kids?
My whole thing is somebody made all those shoes.
Beans, can I add something to what you just said? Beans, let me just say something to what you said. You know what? I was just filling out my freeze my taxes as an adult, a senior citizen in New Jersey. So I'm not really arguing about what you say because
you better not do that shit, bum. Don't you do that shit, you bum.
I'm a damn short. I'm a damn short.
What's wrong with America?
You know what, man? This is a pretty good conversation, even though we're going back and forth. But so I think it needed to be said. I mean, you can look at these things different ways. I like what you said too, also, Jenny. With the kids, they are going to be a benefit in the future as long as they're productive, right? But just going back to this thing about black people and what that guy was saying, even though he didn't mention it, and this is where I go wrong a lot, or people get me wrong. I just think that we're some of the most resilient people that ever existed. I mean, because we just sat here and talked about all the fucked up shit everybody has done. We're still here. We're still standing.
Payne, can I ask you something?
We are still standing.
Let me ask you something. Lick, can you bring up this first pic for me?
What picture?
It should be down here with us.
The welfare checkmate?
The first one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This was last year. You got 2022, 2023, and 2024, right?
Right.
Okay.
All the programs listed for welfare programs listed from government spending. You see what the very first one at the top is?
Yep.
Earned income tax credit and child tax credit. See how much it was last year? That's in billions, by the way. 85 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Housing assistance was only 69.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
SSI was 59.
Mm-hmm.
All this shit is fucking welfare. It's all welfare. All of it. Right? Now, the point is...
Wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
That's not... That doesn't prove your point. It says to families who pay no income tax. Families who pay in and then get the credit back, they're getting their own money. That's not welfare. This is also welfare. If you don't pay in and you get someone else's, then that's what welfare is.
So what you're saying is that you believe that you don't pay, that you're not paying the taxes, that you're just getting your money back. But now you're saying you're not. Now you're saying you believe that it's only for people who go tax exempt throughout the year. That's
I
what you're
think we're
saying.
arguing two different sets of people.
I'm just trying to make sure. No. I'm just trying to make sure she's saying that's what it is. Because we can Google what percentage of people that is right now, and I guarantee you it won't qualify. Who's really doing that? Who's really going tax exempt for the year? Nobody. Right? The only reason why you're getting the money back is because you don't owe taxes. If you owe, you wouldn't be getting shit. You see?
Well, here's the thing, Bean.
Income tax.
Here's the thing. It goes back to what Jeff said earlier. You got to be able to prove, what you get to keep. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the reason why they wrote the tax laws like that is to force people to basically be in business for themselves. Basically, when you see the earned income tax credit, families are in the business of making more families, which is creating more taxpayers. And I think that's probably the reason why
which is
they
what
want them
Sis
to.
was just saying.
Yeah,
That's what she was saying. It's more of a benefit to the country.
Right.
And you see how
in
they
that particular situation,
made sense.
in that particular situation. Now, what you're arguing is that there are people who are actually receiving welfare and claiming taxes on money that they never made. Is that a fair statement?
Who you talking about? Me?
Yeah, in that particular
Hell
situation.
no, I
I'm
ain't
talking
making
about.
that claim.
I'm just
I'm not
asking,
gonna sit here
man.
and pretend like it don't happen though.
I'm just asking, man.
I'm not gonna pretend like it don't happen though.
Hey,
But-
I'm just asking,
But
man.
no, I'm not. I wasn't talking about them. And you snitching. You know,
I'm just
snitching is
asking.
stitches, right? don't you do it? They gonna find you.
I'm just saying, I don't
You
have
have
no
to take a
kids,
long
man.
way home. Is that it?
Okay,
Right.
okay. So bring up the last screen.
All right.
This one right here. So I want to make sure Sis see this. So you see, here it is right here. So in order to get the child tax credit, you just need to have a qualifying child age 17 years, under 17 years at the end of the tax year, right? It could be anybody, right? And they have to be residing with you, and then you meet the income limits. Do you see what the income limit is right there? Meet income limits. The full credit is available if your modified adjusted income is $200,000 or less, $400,000 or less if married and filing jointly. Right? So that's it. Those are the qualifications. Right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. People don't like the thought of this. They don't like the thought that it's welfare. They try to convince themselves in every way that they can that it's not that, just so they can hold on to their biases. No, how about this? Every other demographic in this country takes welfare. The Jews, the Asians, the Arabs, everybody gets what they can get out of their government, and they don't make fun of each other for doing it. So why do we?
I'm gonna put it to you like this, Beans. It's not so much as they're being paid welfare, as I think the government holds a gun to their head and say, "Give me all your money, and you get to decide. I get to decide how much you keep. But if you can prove to me that you get to keep some of it, then you can." That's basically what really happens.
I mean, listen, no, I'm not disagreeing with Jeff or you on that part.
Right,
Like,
right.
people have convinced me that the taxes thing is wrong. I just don't care because they swear up and down that taxes goes towards infrastructure, roads, and all these other things, right? Fire departments and all that other shit that I know I don't want to have to get out here and take care of. So when I'm paying my money and I don't even consider it. When I'm buying shit and I'm paying taxes, it don't bother me at all because I believe that money is either going towards, quote unquote, helping somebody else out in need or keeping the infrastructure of the country together where I can get on the road and go from New York to California.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Well, Beans, here's the thing I think that gentleman was leaving out is that the fact that when people go to the stores and purchase this stuff, there's a certain amount of tax that comes out that goes towards those roads and school systems and stuff like that. Because anytime we want to build a new school, they always tack a penny onto the sales tax and say, "Hey, this is for the kids." It's always for the kids, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main reason I think a lot of times when guys get to yapping like that, they don't really do the whole entire calculus. They're just mad because somebody may be getting something they may not be getting, which is the whole point. Was the reason why I brought up the other video But anytime we get ready to do something, they always tear this stuff up. They'll put a bulldozer through the neighborhood, put up a freeway, that type of thing. And any other particular situation, like say for instance, if we have a certain amount of people we do wrong, they'll go back. Say for instance, we bombed Japan, we went over there and we fixed Japan. We tore up Germany, we went over there and fixed Germany. So who's coming back to our neighborhood to fix up the stuff they tore up? You see, that's my issue when we have crickets. And when our stuff get tore up, nobody comes back and restores us for the damage that they did. And then when I hear people sitting on their acres talking about how lazy somebody else is, and then they strong arm somebody else out of their algorithm and then create something else just because they feel like, hey, our stuff ain't as good as theirs, so we just gonna take it by law, our law. You know what I'm saying? Instead of letting the free market system that they claim they love to do take over. That's when I find a disingenuous of the whole entire argument. That's my whole thing. If we're gonna play by the rules that people say they're gonna set, let the winners win and let the losers lose. And that's how it should be. That's how
it's supposed to be, but they always find. But that's the thing, where it's supposed to be the winners win and the losers lose. But when you have individuals who find any way whatsoever to make it look like as if the rules don't apply to them, but it makes sure they applies to you and everyone else, what do you expect? Like Andre Brower said in the movie The Tuskegee Airmen, rest in peace to him, you're playing cards with a fixed deck and you wonder why we can't win a hand. That's the best way to describe it. They're always going to find a way, colonizers always find a way to make sure that everyone else has to follow the rules, which at times is a contradiction of one another, and they'll find every way possible to make themselves the exception to those rules.
You know, maybe we need a campaign slogan like the banks and the car companies had in 2008, too big to fail. Maybe we should have something that says too black to fail. You know, maybe we can get some of that action. Some of that,
like
you know what I'm saying? Come on, Jeff. Jeff like that one.
Crazy.
I'm just saying.
Too black to fail. That was a great on t-shirt too.
I'm telling you. Coach Ferg, you got your finger up, man. Come on here.
You know, interesting conversation. You know, beings from I can understand what you're saying, and this is what my sentiment with welfare in itself, right? Most of us in America being black, whether we come from humble beginnings or middle class, lower middle class, most of us put work into the system of where we live at in America. Anybody up here haven't had a legitimate job? Raise your hand, please. Anybody? Everybody here has paid taxes, right? You have put in at some point. So yes. So I agree that if somebody has put in 10, 15 years of work, because we are in America, we do what the law say, then if you have to get welfare, yeah, so get it. Get your little housing. I help veterans all the time get low income housing. All the time. Yes, get your housing, go get your food stamps, get everything free that you can get from the government. Only problem I got is the ones who never really put into it and then come into life at 35 and over and talking about I can't work a job making $15 an hour. No, take your ass and start at the bottom like we all did. That's my sentiment. So yeah, those people, yeah. And this is what I see, I believe is coming just based off the new movement going forward as far as the land and the presidency and the way they're changing their dynamics. The day of the handouts is going to be very minimal. They're going to expect every able-minded bodied person to get out here and put their hand in the dirt and work it. That's just what America is. As far as reparation, give me money every day. If they say they're going to give me $1,000 for the rest of my life, I want it all.
That's a fact.
I want it all. I'm taking it. But in reality, I wouldn't have nobody. I tell my son, don't expect anything to be given to you for free. You have to put in the work. The retirement age is 67. When they go look at your social security number and they're going to say, hey, you haven't worked in the last 25 years and you have a son or a daughter you never really took care of, just throwing the worst case scenario, you still owe this child support. So instead of giving you $300 a month, we're going to give you $150 a month. However, if you're a single brother and you work consistently, don't have no out of wedlock children, maybe you're married, you have a situation where you and your wife can file the kids every other year, then your bank account will be pretty good. And we don't see people in the modern day. This is supposed to be the smartest and the richest generation taking advantage of the joint because you can make up to $200,000 and still get that little extra $4,000 or $5,000 for our little slow kids, so we can take them on a vacation worthwhile, so we can take them and see the world. You know what I'm saying? The world that we're afraid to go see, we can take our children. And to me, that's a bigger fix than most are willing to see. But I'm an old guy.
Trey, before you go, let me ask you a question. You mentioned something about reparations, right? I'm of the mindset is fix what you tore up. You know what I'm saying? If you burned our banks, give us our banks back. If you burned down our schools, give us our schools back. You know what I'm saying? If you tore up our neighborhoods and took our houses or whatever, make us whole.
Wait. Let me ask
The reason why I say that, listen, the reason why I say that is because that allows us to continue what we already started. We were already handling business. Don't stand in our way.
No, that's a fact.
Different thing. At the table so we can handle business too.
That's a fact, Led. I'm glad you said that because most people don't think about that part of it. That's why I hate when people immediately, when they want to talk about what we was doing, they jump all the way back to slavery. I'm like, you don't have to go back that far. But to you and more specifically, Jeff, too. So y'all take reparations past the freedmen, like y'all take it into redlining and the crack era and the Oklahoma cities. Y'all take reparations into that shit too.
I don't know what you mean.
Like some people don't look at this is what I'm saying, Jeff. I look at reparations as the 2 million freedmen. I look at it as the debt that was owed. That's it. I ain't.
Yes, it stands by itself as a debt owed with interest. Yes.
Right. So not Ku Klux Klan, not Jim Crow, not the burning down of the banks and all of that, and not the prison industrial complex, not redlining, not all of that stuff. Just you said you was gonna get these guys 40 acres and a mule. You didn't do it. Run that money.
Period.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's where I'm at because I think that less complicates things. Now I do know that that's not a lot of money, right? We did the math on that, but who cares? If we get them that pay that debt, that's a win.
Well, if I may,
come on, Jay.
You can never appeal to a bully for your lunch money back. That's not how that goes.
Yeah,
That's not how that goes.
Yeah.
Before they will own, because of not just because of the dollar amount, but because of what will have to be owned as a nation. Mm-hmm. It is my belief that before they will give you that dollar, they will let it crash.
Yes.
That is my belief.
Yes.
Should they not? Funky Dory. I'll take my check and I'm gonna cash it fast. But it is, I have no stock in what they're going, in some debt that they're going to pay, that they're going to push me in front of the line with the scores of countries. They're gonna all of a sudden have a change of heart for this money for us. I don't believe it's going to come. I'm not waiting on it. I think, to be honest, we are owed that money. Do we need it? No, we don't need one more dime. What we need is love. We need enough love for ourselves to see the folly in being upset with Cleveland because of how they treating Shadur, when Shadur should not be playing for them at all. How we see somehow a father and a son playing for a sports team owned by a white man as a victory. Mm-hmm. That's where our focus needs to be, in actually having the balls. And that's why I'm so glad these old, no offense or pain, these old wishy-washy, we shall overcome bragging about getting their ass whooped on a bridge. Ass niggas is dying off. I am so glad that these younger black people are stepping up and they not having it in no way, shape, or form. I am proud of them. We are going to get to a point where in politics, the first time that you speak one double talk sentence, you might as well hang it up. We are never going to vote for you. We don't trust you next. When we get there, and the way these new kids think, that's where we going. Until then, all of this shit is going to stay slimy and stay a little wishy-washy. I'll leave it there.
I got pushback. I
Come
can't
on,
remember
man.
the last. I can't remember the last time I sang Michelle Overcard. I'm saying I got pushback, man. Big time. Shit.
Yeah. Come
That's
on.
why I said no offense, R-Pain. I ain't counting you over there.
No, man. I'm
Well,
cool, man. I was
no.
gonna ask some. I don't know if we coming down to the end of the show there, Lit.
Yeah, man. We got about 10 minutes.
Real quick,
We'll wrap
man.
it up.
You're not doing that after show?
Not on Tuesday, man. On Friday we do. Yeah.
Let me
Oh,
just say,
yeah.
I just have a question for folks, man. Have anybody else here been on a welfare line?
Nope.
The welfare line? That sounds
The
crazy.
welfare line. Yeah, that's my grandmother grabbed me one morning and made me get on the line with her, man. This shit had to be at least 8 hours long. It was, and they wanted to commit me after that shit. I was crying. I cried all day to get to the end of that line, to get the peanut butter with the oil and shit on the top when you open it up, or the cheese that don't melt. You know, that kind of shit, man.
Okay.
It was a dramatic experience. You know, so I understand folks on welfare, and I don't look at it as a badge of courage or a badge of honor, but I've been on the line. You know, and I spent a lot of my childhood, you know, we used to tease people beans about being on the line until I was on that son of a bitch. You know, and I never forgot. I'm 100 years old. I still remember it to this day. I haven't seen my father in a month, man. He came up I was in the house. I don't know how a human being shouldn't even have that much tears. So he came in. I haven't seen this fucking guy for maybe a month. He came in because he finally got word that he still had a son. Let me go see how crazy this motherfucker is. I was just distraught, man, because all my friends were looking at me, and you know, just back then it was just weird. But it just hit me when we talk about welfare, man. I actually been on the line.
Well, I got some advice that's 90 years too late. You know, you could take some of that oil from the peanut butter and put it on the cheese, and the damn cheese wouldn't be so hard.
Wow.
That's probably the reason why we're so tough, because we don't melt. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We got
I don't know what you're talking about. They made the best grilled cheese sandwiches in the history of black folk.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a grilled cheese sandwich right after this.
Actually, they were salty. That cheese was salty as hell, man.
This man is from the south side of Chicago.
Beans? Oh man! Niggas have gotten that twisted my whole life. I'm from 60th and Damon. It don't get no gutter. It don't get no more gutter than what I just said. Nowhere in America.
The fact that you even knew that is crazy. Like, not even knew it. The fact that you remembered it.
What?
You've been all around the world and you still remember.
Bruh, Beans, look here. I tell my friends when I come to town, the last time I was in town, DL was there. I was working on some shit for him for his last special. And my dudes, I got my same high school, grammar school, peed on my foot, the same dudes. And one of them was one of my best friends was like, dude, I love you because you got out of here, you never forgot. And I was like, that's impossible, because if I am not connected to you, then who the fuck am I? Bruh, I am pick a roach out of some cereal, eating the water for dinner. Bruh, niggas get that. I'm nice with these doorknobs. Bruh, I grew up in the 70s on the south side of Chicago. I don't never disavow that ever. How?
I thought I was ghetto.
Nah, man.
Come on.
Okay.
Let me be quiet, man, because I be trying to hold folks to the standard they want to set us to. So they'll come get me. I see what happens to the nail that sticks out. It gets hammered. So
Come on
I'm
now.
gonna be quiet.
Okay. I dare somebody to beat this. I bet you can't beat this ghetto story. I'm so ghetto. I take the last of the peanut. You don't get the last of the peanut butter unless you do this. Take a piece of bread with a butter knife and roll it around on the inside of the jar. I said all of the goddamn peanut butter. All of it.
Yeah, that's old school.
That's how you got it.
But again, you were resourceful. You figured it out. Nobody walked your hand.
If you was hungry, it didn't much to figure out.
When the rats went through our trash, they didn't get nothing but mad. We ate all that shit, all of it.
Before we end the stream, because I did I'm probably tomorrow. I was on Cooley show, No Fugazi, and there was some white boys up there arguing against reparations. I had to go up there and cook. But one of the things that I remember specifically was them saying, "Who gonna pay for it?"
It's already paid for. It's already been tripled in dividend.
This is what you should have answered. The same people that gave that money to Afghanistan, the same people that gave that money to Ukraine, the same people that gave that money to everybody else around the world. That's who gonna pay. How about that?
Well, the argument is that that's us, right? Because they just get it back in taxes. But this the thing though. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was actually a good question because it made me think about it. But the thing that the dude argued was that why should we have to pay for that when the people who was supposed to get it ain't here no more? You don't deserve it because those people ain't here no more. And the question
you profited from it. That's why.
That I wanted to ask y'all is, so let's say your God forbid to anybody on the panel, your mom, your dad is on the train derailed. They find out it was negligence on the company is old and they paying everybody, they handing out checks. Should you get a check? You're the oldest living surviving member of your mother and father, and they would keep you say absolutely?
Without question, the next of kin has a right to file. Families do it, bruh. That's what do you if not, then what is wrongful death?
Thank you.
Exactly.
That is the pure definition of wrongful death.
So this is my question, Jeff. I know the answer, but I just want y'all to reconcile it for my mind.
You good.
Why would they even try to argue against that, knowing damn well they believe that?
Because when someone owes you money, they're going to convince you that they don't.
Because what it is base level thinkers running offense for the power elite against other base minded people. You'll have this shit works on base minded people, and because it works so well, and it gives them time. This is why, Beans, what your question is why they're allowed to have committees look into it. They've had committees looking into this shit for at least 55 years that I can remember.
Everywhere, right.
You know you owe it. This is why I say it is foolish to wait. It's a great conversation to have.
Yes.
It's a fantastic conversation to have, but unless we can be on the accord that our business is more important.
That's right. In other words, too black to fail. Let's get it, man.
Come on,
man. I gotta make the shit like that.
I'm sorry, y'all. Real quick.
We got 1 minute.
I know. To sis, to Jenny. I wanted to ask you, do you think that the LGBT movement is oppressive?
Yes.
Do you think that oppression is systemic?
Yeah.
So then systemic oppression still exists then, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it exists in forms, but not in regards to black people.
Really? I would say it's mostly us that they put on those cameras. But at the same time, I digress because I don't watch a lot of that goofy stuff. Like I know you don't watch a lot of goofy stuff. So
30
they
seconds.
probably got some white people up there too. But I don't watch a lot of that goofy stuff. So. I just watch white people kill each other.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit share. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Thank you guys for coming out. R Payne, Miss Jenny, Antoine, Beans. As always, Jeff, Coach Ferd, thank you guys for coming out for another edition of Black Man Unfiltered Flipping Tables. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
God
a
bless.
good one.